Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Learning and Development webinar. My name is Pratibha. I'll be your moderator today. So if at any point, if you have any question or if you want to know more regarding the GSDC initiative, please feel free to use the chat box. So we'll start with the session. Just allow me a minute to share my screen. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. We would be happy to hear that. Just please allow me a minute. So, on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all into the GSDC Studio Learning and Practice Real World Learning and Development Case Studies across industries. In this webinar, you will be unlocking the secrets behind industry leading learning and development transformation by learning from the real world case studies which you can apply in your daily professional lives. And one of the things which make this webinar so amazing is the expert of panel we have lined up for you. Some of them have already delivered a very incredible and insightful sessions, and others are all set to bring in more powerful ideas. So for those who are joining with us for the very first time, let me give you a quick introduction who we are. Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professionals certified with us. We have a 500 plus subject matter experts who contribute to our program. We are associated with 1,000 plus multinational companies and 50 plus university worldwide. And we have 100 plus training providers associated with us from the Asia, Canada, Africa, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, and many other countries. A special thanks to all training providers to helping us improving our training programs. A special thank you to our media partner WordPress Hub for all of our press conference releases and also helping us amplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. Now, I wanted to make an announcement that we have just launched a very unique platform called GSDC Studio Lifelong Learning Initiative. In GSDC AI Studio, you will be getting 100 plus live monthly sessions with global expert, which include the 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert lead session for hands-on learning, sessions from global expert, learn directly from our AI leaders around the world, Real-time practice. Apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready. Training aligned with industry standard for job-ready skills. Now, how can you get the benefit of GSDC AI Studio? Well, let me tell you. So there are three ways for this. First, you have a free 30-day access in which you will be getting the 80 plus live session per month and access to full GSTC Studio. Second, we have a GSTC lifelong membership in $109. You will be upgrading to Pro and you will be getting 80 plus live session per month, access to full GSTC Studio and free GSTC membership, access to physical event and LinkedIn profile improver. Last but not the least, we have a GSDC certification lifetime membership. Now, participant, this offer is for a very limited time of period. So make sure you are grabbing this offer because the offer is starting from $100 and you will be getting the lifetime access of GSDC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone projects plus AI tool, GSDC Copilot, and competency assessment tool. So currently we are covering 100% certification in our portfolio, which include the learning and development, HR, Gen AI, Agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO lead auditor and implementer, project management and PMO, agile DevOps and SRE, cyber security, digital transformation, and many more. So now it's time to welcome our today's speaker. So today we have us Cyril Gabriel with us. Cyril is a seasoned finance and operation executive currently serving as the CEO CFO at Academy XI, a leading education company with over 15 years of experience in financial management and program leadership. Cyril holds multiple professional credentials. Cyril is passionate about quality education and empowering learners. He fosters a collaborative and innovative culture, partnering with leadership to align visions and value. And today he is going to host the session on. Today he is going to give you the session on turning data into decision, measuring what matters in learning and development. So before handing over the virtual mic, just a quick reminder, if you have any question regarding the GSDC initiative, otherwise if you want to connect with Cyril regarding any queries during the session, or if you want to ask any other queries which you have related to the topic or related to the field, please feel free to use the chat box. That way we know you're with us, you're actively listening and absorbing the insight from this amazing session. So it's time to welcome the Cyril. Cyril, thank you so much for coming on our platform. We are so happy to have you as our speaker. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Pratibha, and welcome everyone. And thank you for taking the time to join the session today. Whether you're an L&D, HR, operations, transformation, or leading teams, you probably felt the same pressure. How do we really know if our people are ready to perform? Most organizations collect a ton of data, but very few are able to turn that data into actual decisions about capability, productivity, or performance. Today, I'm going to explore how you can shift from simply tracking learning activity to actually measuring the things that matter, things that help leaders make better workforce decisions, and empowering L&D teams to think more strategically than just content providers. Before we dive in, let me share what you'll walk away with today. By the end of this session, you will have clarity on what data actually matters when it comes to people, performance, and capability, a simple way to connect skills, behaviors, and workflows to real business outcomes, practical case studies showing how organizations reduce risk, improve productivity, and lifted proficiency, a clear framework for building a data-led capability strategy in your organization, and finally, an understanding of how AI is reshaping L&D and what that means for everyone involved in people, performance, or transformation. So no matter your role, this session will help you make more informed decisions about workforce capability. I will share my screen now. Hopefully everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, Cyril, we are able to see your screen.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Pratibha. I'd like to start by acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the First Peoples, traditional custodians of the land, and thank them for their continued hospitality. We acknowledge and celebrate the continuation of a living culture that has a unique role in every region of Australia. We acknowledge elders past and present, as well as our emerging leaders of tomorrow, and thank them for their wisdom and guidance as we walk in their footsteps. All right, let's jump into it. This will be engaging. You will get a lot of use cases and case studies of some of the organizations, how they're dealing with their learning and development challenges in Australia. Some colorful diagrams to make sure that there's key takeaways. There's a robust way of tracking these data in your organizations, or just for yourself as well. So let's start with the core problem many organizations face. Most companies collect plenty of learning data, completions, registrations, attendance, people's insight into the day, the course itself, the course structure, but very few can actually link the data to the performance outcomes that matter to the business. A recent LinkedIn learning report found that only 8% of organizations feel confident they can prove real business impact from learning. Here's a simple example I've shared on the screen. A bank invests $5 million annually in compliance training, but can't demonstrate a reduction in risk events. Can we honestly say that investment is working? This is the gap we're here to address today, the gap between activity, learning, and impact. We're seeing a major shift in the world of learning and capability. L&D is no longer being asked to just deliver courses. They're being asked to build capability outcomes the business can see, feel, and measure. With tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot readily available in people's hands, no longer are the days where people had to go enroll in courses to learn more about skills that they require. It's readily available to them. What L&D teams need to focus for the future is more targeted skills that will help bolster learning and capability uplift within the organizations. And with AI automating more administrative and repeatable tasks, the role of L&D is moving upstream into human performance. And even at Academy XI, it's always a case of human plus AI. It's not just AI. A great example is Telstra. It's a telecommunications provider here in Australia who've completely moved away from having course catalogs as options for their employees to enroll into programs to more capability academies like AI Academy or Data Academy or Leadership Academy, a shift from content to capability building within these organizations. But here's the key question, and it's not just for L&D. How closely aligned are the data we track and the work we prioritize with the strategic outcomes the business actually needs? Can a number of enrollments quantify what business performance could be? Or the sentiments on the day that people in a workshop actually felt through the program, can that align to business priorities? If our data isn't aligned with business priorities, we end up measuring activity instead of value. And that's exactly what we're going to solve in this session. What do executives really care about? It's at the end about business priorities, strategic goals, cost savings, and so on. Because when you look at what executives really care about, it's remarkably consistent across all industries. They're focused on these key 5 things. Workforce readiness. Can our people execute the core business strategy? Productivity uplift. Can we get people performing faster? Capability gaps. Where are the critical skills shortages? Risk reduction. Are we reducing incidents, audit issues, and compliance failures? Talent retention. Are we building skills that improve engagement and reduce churn? There's a lot of emotions and sentiments around new technologies being introduced into businesses, especially around AI. And to sort of counter that, it's about building capability within the organization. Could be building AI skills within people that'll help give them confidence and help them move up in their performance and in their own roles. If L&D or any capability function can connect learning to these outcomes, impact becomes immediately visible to senior leadership and so on. Now, one of the biggest challenges I see in organizations is this. We track an enormous amount of learning data, but very little of it actually helps us make decisions. Most of what we track are vanity metrics, completion rates, number of enrollments, how spent learning. They're very interesting, but not very useful when the business is asking, are our people ready for tomorrow's challenges? Where are the risks? How do we improve performance? The data that really matters falls into, at least to what I perceive, these 5 buckets: strategic data, capability data, learning data, performance data, and experience data. And when you connect those buckets, everything changes. For example, strategic data talks about business priorities, workforce planning, health with budgeting, forecasting, what skills are required in the market, what skills are available, what's the next phase of professional development with individuals, and so on. Capability data talks about the skills, the role maturity, performance readiness, all of that. Learning data, pathways, content effectiveness, application rates, whether what they've learned has been taken and have been onboarded onto their day-to-day tasks. Performance data, this is where KPIs, productivity increases, or error rates, or risk rates have been improved. Experience data, learner sentiment, any friction points, is it addressing the challenge? Is it accessible for everybody? Addressing those key data points. And this is where the evolution is happening. L&D is moving beyond traditional learning analytics, beyond just tracking courses, into something much more powerful, what I call it organizational analytics. This means we're not just asking, did people complete the training? We're asking, did capability improve? Did workflows improve? Did performance improve? Did risk go down? Did productivity go up? This is the shift from activity to impact. Here's the key principle to remember. Training only creates value when capability flows into performance. There's a pipeline from skills to behaviors to workflows. For example, let's take customer service, for example. The skill might be empathy. The behavior is using empathy scripts. The workflow impact is improved call handling, and the performance outcome is reduced escalations. If we don't measure the whole pipeline, we miss the real story. And this is where most L&D data falls short. It stops at the training event instead of following the journey into performance. Let's bring this to life with some real examples. New South Wales Health is a government agency in Australia, particularly in the state of New South Wales. A major hospital was experiencing a spike in medication errors. The initial request was the classic one. We need more training. But when we looked at the capability and process data, we found something surprising. 72% of errors weren't clinical skill issues at all. They were communication issues during handover between the clinical staff, the administrative staff, or the patient and the doctors, and so on. So instead of launching more training, the team redesigned the handover workflow, added micro-learning, and introduced coaching. What was the result? A 32% reduction in medication errors in 90 days. Training didn't fix the problem. The insights did. And that's the power of building capability data across organizations that help bolster strategic thinking from a professional development and a career development perspective. Let's look at another case study. The same thing happened with ANZ Banking. Their compliance training completions were at 98%. This should be like a dream come true for any L&D expert, as there's been a lot of uptake in courses and training provided to individuals within that organization. But audit failures were still rising. This is the moment we realized that completions do not equal capability. When we introduced scenario-based assessments, they found that staff had misunderstood 12 critical compliance concepts. So instead of more e-learning, they rolled out targeted micro-coaching for the teams at higher risk. And within 6 months, audit breaches dropped by 40%. Again, the magic wasn't just the training, it was the insights that was provided as part of the training. Let's look at another case study. Woolworths is a large retailer here in Australia. At Woolworths, new staff were taking 21 days to reach expected performance levels. The old metric was training hours, but training hours don't create value, proficiency does. So Woolworths shifted the focus to time to competence. They used VR training for shelf stacking and provided workflow guides directly on handheld devices. That reduced the time to proficiency from 21 days to 14 days and delivered a 12% uplift in store productivity. This is what happens when you measure the right thing. Rio Tinto, it's a large mining company here in Australia, primarily based in Western Australia. At Rio Tinto, near-miss incidents were increasing, as you can imagine from a mining site. The immediate assumption was that people needed more safety training. But when we analyzed the data, 78% of incidents were linked to fatigue and shift pattern issues, not knowledge gaps. So instead of more courses, the intervention focused on adjusting shifts, adding behavioral nudges, and using short briefing videos. In 60 days, near-miss incidents dropped by 25%. Again, the real value came from diagnosing the root cause, not prescribing more training. Accenture trained 250,000 staff in the last couple of years in AI literacy. But the real impact didn't come from the training itself. It came from measuring time saved per task, improvements in quality, and automation potential inside workflow. When they measured adoption at the workflow level, not the learning level, they realized employees were saving 30 to 45 minutes per day. AI training went from being interesting to actually being profitable. This is what happens when L&D measures impact beyond completions. And this sort of is applicable to everybody that's attending this webinar as well. It's about identifying what key core skills that you require that's going to benefit you in upskilling yourself, gaining more knowledge and skills that are required to future-proof your role and your job for the future. All right. To make this practical, here's a simple hierarchy you can use. To measure the true impact of learning and capability, start with business performance data, workflow data, capability data, behavior data, and learning analytics. Most organizations actually start at the very bottom. They're more focused on the learning analytics, how many enrollments, how many people are going through the L&D programs, what are the courses they already have picked in the previous year, and so on, and wonder why it's so hard to prove value. We actually need to invert the model. Start with business performance. Let that drive everything else, because the core role of an L&D, at least in my opinion, is to drive business growth performance through individuals that are within the organization. I put together a small chart that shows sort of what the operating model for L&D teams looks like in the future. And this hierarchy leads to the operating model of the future for L&D teams. L&D is becoming a capability transformation team, not a content production team. There are organizations that can do that for businesses. The future model has 4 core pillars: data and intelligence, capability strategy, learning experience and design, performance enablement. This is how L&D moves from a service function to a strategic partner within an organization. Capability strategy. How are the capability metrics aligned with business strategies and goals? What is the business trying to do? Is it in a startup phase? Is it in a scale-up phase? Is it growing? Is it expanding within various regions? If it's in a different region, what are the capabilities and skills required for people working in that region, and so on? Learning experience and design. Creating content and courses in a variety of formats, anything from one-day workshops to webinars, to e-learning content through various LMS platforms and so on. Performance enablement. I guess at the core of everything L&D does is to improve people's performance. And how do you track this performance? You tie it to the business's strategy, and in line tying it to capability strategy, learning experience and design, which gives you data and intelligence that matters for future years and future months in providing meaningful training to individuals across organizations. To build a data-led capability strategy, here's a simple 6-step approach. Identify the business priorities. What matters most right now to a business? Define critical roles and capabilities. Where does performance matter the most? Create a capability measurement system. We need baselines and benchmarks to be set. Build targeted learning journeys. Not everything needs a course. Integrate workflow performance metrics. That's where impact shows up. Report impact in business language. What do executives really understand at the end of the day is money saved, risk reduced, productivity gained. This is how capability becomes visible to the business. And it provides clear delineation between business as usual to operational excellence. Especially if L&D teams can identify the business priorities. What really matters the most? What matters the most right now might not be the same next year. A couple of years ago, when the technology wave started, even before AI could, there was a lot of talk about cybersecurity. Businesses started bolstering the cybersecurity training. Obviously, quickly came AI and the various ChatGPTs that followed with it. Businesses started providing training in AI-related courses and programs. I guess at the end of the day, this all ties to what are the critical roles and capabilities, and creating a system that measures this capability that is required to future-proof the business. And building those targeted learning journeys by saying, Year 1 is AI fundamentals, getting everybody on the journey in the business, and everybody has a base level understanding of artificial intelligence across the business. Stage 2 is to help build confidence in using that technology across the business, and maybe more targeted learning, say for technology teams, on building their own AI models within the business and so on. This sort of targeted learning journeys help build capability within the business, helps retention of employees within the business as they've been provided a means of moving up within the business, a chance for their professional development and their career development as well. We can't have a webinar without having conversations about AI. So let's talk briefly about AI. AI is definitely not replacing L&D. It is replacing low-value tasks, manual tasks, repeatable tasks like content creation, admin tasks, tagging, and so on. What this means is that L&D increases in strategic value. The differentiator becomes your ability to analyze, to interpret data, and to architect capability for the future. At Academy XI, what we've identified is a lot of our clients are using AI to reduce their admin workload, from content creation within AI-built LMS platforms to focusing on tagging, sending feedback forms across various departments to identify the skills gap or the learning gaps, that sort of stuff. which actually frees the L&D teams to focus more on strategy, performance, and transformation. And that is what is required from the business with L&D, not just create a list of catalog of courses that are required by the business, but identifying what courses and training are required for each of the roles, mapping those to the business strategy, and so on. When you look at the dashboards that truly demonstrate value, the metrics that matter are things like time to proficiency, reduction in errors and escalations, revenue per employee, cost savings, risk events avoided, capability maturity progress. These metrics tell a business story, not a learning story. And here's the truth. When you show leaders money saved, risk prevented, or productivity gained, L&D teams become indispensable. Every L&D leader, and honestly, every business leader, should be able to answer these 4 questions. What capability are we building? For which roles? To drive what business outcome? How will we measure change? I think these are very critical and important questions L&D teams need to ask themselves and ask the respective leaders within the business to build the framework, a practical framework that businesses require to achieve their growth and their strategy. This also alleviates a lot of stress and pressure from employees as they know they've been given and provided enough training and training that is required for them to be successful in their roles. Hence, this becomes a very strategic part of the business, the human intelligence part of it, for businesses to continue growing. Part of what we do, even at Academic Xi, is actually we deploy some of our own tools, like an AI readiness assessment tool, for example. We don't straight away recommend a training that is required for the businesses. If an L&D team member reaches out to some of our team members, we sort of ask them to take these sort of assessments and skills-based requirements to identify where the gaps are. They might say they have individuals of 20 that could potentially be attending a workshop with us, but all those 20 people will not be at the same level. How do we address those challenges? How do we sort of work with them in sort of identifying the skills gap and so on is the real key challenge in mapping those structures. When you can answer these 4 questions with confidence, you also create a direct line of sight from learning to performance. And in turn, of course, you have more measurable data that you can provide to the business and show the real value of having L&D teams within the business. The future of L&D is workforce intelligence. Like a few years ago, when human resources took a very similar turn from just onboarding and offboarding individuals into a business to more providing insights into talent pool, into skills that are required for specific roles, or even helping businesses create roles that are required in building its capability and growing the business for the future. This means L&D becomes the owner of capability intelligence across the organization, informing workforce planning, productivity strategy, digital transformation, and in a way, change management. In other words, L&D becomes the organization's performance engine. This is where skills, capability uplift, all of that sort of discussions take place. And it's very important L&D teams always look ahead, align the business's performance with organization's performance to employees' skills and capability so that they're future-proofing their organizations. And finally, data doesn't replace human judgment, it just amplifies it. The organizations that will thrive are the ones who can interpret capability signals, not just deliver content. The ones who can diagnose root causes, not just add more training. That is the data advantage. coming from a financial background, I can tell you how important data is and how important it is presenting that data accurately to the business's needs. It's what the business requires, and it's what sets the business up for success. Thank you so much for your time today. And I hope this session has given you a clear and practical way to connect capability, performance, and data, and to demonstrate real value inside your organization. I'd like to pass it on to Pratibha and open the floor for any Q&A.
Thank you so much, Cyril, for those amazing and insightful sessions. I'm sure our participants have learned a lot. So, participant, the floor is officially open for question and answers. So, if you have any question, please feel free to drop them in the chat box, and please connect with Cyril onto this. So, Cyril, we do have questions from some of the participants from YouTube and LinkedIn. So, the first question we have that how can small or resource limited learning and development teams start building a data-driven approach without heavy tools?
Absolutely, that's a really good question. Obviously, half of what I presented were large organizations within Australia, even with the use cases. So people in this call are probably wondering, what do smaller organizations do? What if I'm a startup founder? How do I go about that? I think this sort of thinking and planning doesn't always necessarily have to sit with L&D. That's why before I started the session, I mentioned this is for anybody and everybody that is part of an organization that is forward-looking and forward-thinking. To answer that question, that's why there are organizations similar to GSDC, Academy Excite, and so many other organizations that are available there that can actually provide you with those insights that they require. The reason is obviously they have the capability to build programs that are required within the organization. They worked with similar organizations, so many of those organizations around the world. They can provide the learning from those to help you better understand what is required from a skill level. So you don't necessarily have to come from an L&D background, but you're a leadership as part of a growing smaller company, but you want to still build capability within your team. You can always look up to organizations to provide that sort of support.
Thank you so much for those amazing and detailed answer, Cyril. So the next question we have, how do you balance qualitative feedback with quantitative data when making learning and development decisions?
Sorry, Pratibha, can you repeat that question again?
So how do you balance qualitative feedback with quantitative data when making learning and development decision?
Absolutely. I think obviously there's two elements to it. Obviously, the quality of the data and the quantity of the data that you got. So the quality of the data obviously rests with the L&D teams in clearly identifying what return on investment metrics need to be there for that particular learning. For example, if they've taken AI literacy as a learning curve, then L&D teams will need to probably sit with the leaders and identify what is going to be the return on investment. What are we looking for our people that are going through the program to come out to say, yep, I have a core understanding of what AI is. These are the do's and don'ts. Don't put your personal data on ChatGPT. Don't put the business's data. Don't upload Excel files from business onto ChatGPT and so on. These are the things that you said. So you identify that and you convert that into real world metrics. And then obviously that in turn gives you the base for collecting quantitative data on what is required for future-proofing similar learnings in other areas as well.
Thank you so much for those detailed and thoughtful answers, Cyril. So next question we have from Yinka. How do you assess data metrics, especially if it's an interdepartment setting in a multi-location, especially across multi-continents, considering nuisance and local culture?
That's a really good question, Yanka. Especially if you're an L&D manager or the head of L&D for a large multinational sitting across various portfolios. I think, again, it goes back to the point of identifying business priorities. While your business's growth strategy and priorities could be the same globally, it might not be locally because it could be different geographic sort of priorities, right? You might not have the same like earnings from that particular country. And like you mentioned, there could be cultural nuances. It goes back to my points on you clearly have to identify what is required in that particular group, whether it's an interdepartmental group or if it's an intercontinental group, you still will need to identify what metrics specifically are required. And that's why L&D teams will need to work with the respective leaders within those departments, within the other geographical locations, identifying what matters most and tying it back to the broader business growth and strategy.
Okay. Thank you so much for those amazing answers, Cyril. So the next question we have from Deepika, if we are doing a learning intervention for promoting domain knowledge for technical employees, what kind of ROI metrics can we measure in this scenario?
That's a good question, Deepika. Especially for technical teams, I think, to be honest, it makes it a lot easier, at least in my opinion, because you're learning about a specific new domain, and the return on investment would be the core knowledge of learning about the domain. And the return on investment is how quickly have they grasped these tasks? How quickly have they learned these skills that are required to start operating in a new domain, for example? And do they have the skills to keep up with the changes in that particular domain that's coming? What are those that are there? Is that tied to your broader business growth and strategy? These are some of the metrics that you can measure for, especially in technical teams. It's a little bit difficult if it's a softer course, like, say, customer success journey. Again, even that, you could have very high level insights into what that looks like for a customer service team, for example, that I mentioned during my session. Yeah.
Thank you so much for those insightful answers, Cyril. So next question we have once again from the participant from YouTube that what are some red flags that shows your learning and development data might be misleading or incomplete? Also, how can organizations connect learning metrics with business KPIs like productivity, revenue, or retention?
Those are really good questions. I guess the key is, again, if you've already identified the business's objectives and growth and strategy, then before you even start enrolling people into programs and training, it is important to understand and agree with the business if the growth and strategy levers are, say, increase in income or increase in hours of work that person is doing, then that needs to be really identified even before the training is started. Because then you can actually match after the training is complete or they've completed a program, how well are they tracking? Are they still going? And what's the benchmark? It's all about actually getting a clear benchmark as well. So a lot of large organizations, including GSDC, would have benchmarks to say, if you have gone through a program, we expect this person to have completed this program within this period of time, and you should start seeing your return on investment within, say, the next 3 to 6 months. And sometimes these could be done with tools. We have certain tools here at Academy Exercise that we use. We call it like a knowledge nudge. Essentially, after every program is complete, this tool sends a scenario-based questions to all the participants for the next 12 months. This way, the business can be sure that they're tracking on what they've learned on that particular course. And this ties nicely to another tool that we use called actually a benchmarking tool. We haven't come up with a fancy name yet. And what that does is it clearly tells you what is the benchmark that is required, say, for a particular role. Say if it's a finance manager, it creates a benchmark based on the data that it has collected, and it says this person needs to be at this level of learning within this period of time, and this is the market benchmark for that particular person.
Thank you so much for those amazing and insightful answers, Cyril. So we have one more question, one of the participant from LinkedIn. So the participant wants to know how can learning and development teams collaborate with the HR on business leaders to ensure data is interpreted correctly, and also which data points are the most reliable early signal that a learning program will succeed or fail.
That's really, really good question. I guess from my personal experience, HR and L&D teams go hand in glove. They always work together, or either the L&D teams report into the chief people officer one way or the other. So obviously the broader planning for an organization starts at a HR level, where they start planning for what human resources are required for the growth of the business and so on, which ties up nicely to the L&D, where they identify core skills that are required for that particular role. And then obviously this is mapped to that particular position description. And when a person is hired for that particular role, obviously that metrics that they have agreed on becomes their KPI or their targets. So obviously at that given point, from the time you've hired and the business's identified learning journey for that particular person, you keep tracking their KPIs and their growth and so on. And the quickest red flag would be on how quickly the uptake is on the training that's provided or identified, or in some cases, if the person hasn't provided any uptake in the skills, there's no completion rates, and there hasn't been no professional development, and they've sort of stayed stagnant within their role without providing much growth to their departments or the business, I think that will be a key indicator.
Thank you so much for those amazing and detailed answer. I'm sure our participants have gotten the clarity regarding this query. So we can take 1 2 question more. So I know you are into very late time zone, so I don't want to occupy it for a long time. So the last question we have from Neela, that how long do you measure the training impact, especially if it's about AI adoption post training?
That's a really good question, Neela. I was actually waiting for somebody to ask me that question because that's probably one of the most interesting areas for learning and development, I would say. As everybody on this call and everybody that's listening to this conversation is aware, AI is adapting itself at such a quick, fast rate. It's very hard to keep up. It feels like I go to bed looking at ChatGPT 5. When I wake up, it's ChatGPT 5.1. And that's how quick it is in the realm of AI. With that particular aspect of AI adoption, again, it's about what are the skills that have been identified for that particular training and how long do you expect it? Say, for example, if it's a baseline understanding of AI adoption and it's AI fundamental training, and part of the training was do's and don'ts, then the quickest measure would be if that person is actually following those AI policies and guidelines that was provided during that training. If they've adopted, or are they still having shadow usage? Is somebody still using on their phone their ChatGPTs and putting all the data onto their ChatGPT on the phone because they can't do it on their work computer and so on? These are some of the things that businesses can keep an eye at and sort of measure impact, especially when it comes to AI adoption and post-training. Obviously, there are other tools that I mentioned that does the same as well.
For those amazing, insightful sessions and the answer of all of the questions also. I'm sure our participants have gotten a lot of query resolved. So participant, we really apologize. We will not be able to take more question because we are running out of the time. And also Cyril is taking this session from a very late night. So we don't want to occupy him for a long time. So I'm sharing Cyril's Cyril's LinkedIn ID in the chat box for your convenience, guys, so that you can connect with him directly. And if you have any query or if you want to know more about any learning and development topics, or if you want any guidance, you can connect with Cyril directly. I'm sure he would be happy to help you, right, Cyril?
Absolutely. It's been a real pleasure, Pratibha, and thank you so much for hosting me. And I believe everybody's been fantastic, especially considering it's not just talking about AI, and we're talking about other things as well. So thank you so much.
So before moving forward, would you like to give any final comments regarding our topic or any other thing?
It's been really great to have such a wonderful audience with very insightful questions, very targeted questions. Obviously, I can feel that people have been thinking about these topics as increasingly it becomes challenging to provide training and skills with measurable return on investment and success and so on. So I've learned quite a bit just from the questions people have asked. So thank you for that as well. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And we have also enjoyed your session a lot. Today was a roller coaster journey of the learning regarding new topics into learning and development. So thank you so much once again. Moving ahead, just please allow me 1 minute to share my screen, participant. So, if you guys think that you guys are ready for your certification in learning and development professionals, so you can opt for all the certification from our website, and we also have a complimentary coupon code for our participant. So you can take the 20% off on the certifications. So make sure you're grabbing this offer, because this offer is especially for our participant only, and this is for a very limited time of offer. So grab it as soon as possible. You can do it, hurry. And apart from that, I just wanted to make a quick announcement regarding one more tool, utility tool. So in today's AI era, everyone take helps from the AI to make their professional journey easy, right? So HRs and recruiters are also taking the help from AI through screening your profile, and that is also the reason that most of the candidates profile are getting rejected, because their resume is not as per the AI screening tool or AI screening system. So what you can do, you can take the help of utility tool. You can log in into utility tool by your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will access your LinkedIn account, and it will give you a recommendation according to the job and title or designation you have targeted, plus the industry you have targeted. So it will give you a recommendation regarding your bio, regarding your portfolio, regarding experience management, and everything, and it will help you to make to stand out in your job hunting journey in front of the HRs and recruiters. So in today's AI era, you should take help from wherever you're getting, especially for the job hunting journey. So make sure you're taking the help of this utility tool as well, because we have received a very positive feedback for this tool regarding the job hunting journey. And also we are giving a complimentary coupon code to our participant, which will give you 100% off for using this utility tool. So make sure you're grabbing this offer. Do it, hurry. Use this coupon code, get your recommendation, and make your job hunting journey even more easier and stand out in front of the HRs and recruiter. Before wrapping up, I just wanted to make a few announcements that we are conducting others webinars as well, like ISO, and this will be ISO 42001 and ISO 27001, and it is being conducted from 3rd November to 21st November at 8:30 am CST, 10:30 p.m. SGT, and 8 p.m. IST. And we are also conducting GSDC AI Studio Applied Intelligence Learning Gen AI and Agentic AI into Real Business Impact from 17th to 21st November at 6:30 am CST, 8:30 p.m. SGT, and 6 p.m. IST. After this, I'm going to host one more webinar at 10:30 am CST, 12:30 am SGT, 10 p.m. IST, and 11:30 am EST. So this is a AI implementation series, 100 days AI tool challenge, a series especially designed for managers and professionals like you, so that you can not just learn, but you can also apply what you can take away. And today we are going to be today we will have Udit Sharma in our AI implementation series, and he is going to give the demonstration regarding Perplexity AI tool. So this is going to be a very amazing and insightful sessions. I hope to see you all there as well, and I am hoping that you guys could take the help from this webinars as well. And it's time to celebrate our referral champions now. So we have a top 3 performer, Bhanu Durgesh, ABI, and Avinash Kumar. Thank you so much to all 3 of you for helping us simplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. Keep the momentum going. You can also be part of the referral championship. So what you have to do, you can go into our GSDC website, and if any of your peers, colleagues or professional wants to join for any of our webinar, you can refer them via the registration link which you will find in our event page on our GSDC website. So every referral will give you a 1 point, and once you hit a 50 referral point, you will be able to get a $400 worth gift certification voucher. And this is also for a very limited time of offer, so make sure you're grabbing this offer, and please make sure you're doing it hurry. So if you want to be one of our speaker for learning capsules, webinar and podcast, please do reach out to us directly. Otherwise, please do email me at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org. I have already dropped my email ID in the chat box for your convenience, guys. And these are the platforms where you can connect with us and you can stay updated regarding our upcoming events, trends, newsletters, and everything. LinkedIn, our website, our WhatsApp group, and also we would love to hear your feedback as well. So we would love to know that what learning outcomes and session key takeaways you guys are taking from our webinars, and how our webinar is helping you into your professional journey, and what you want to see next. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions, and how you felt after connecting with our speakers and everything, we would love to hear everything about the feedback from you, because your feedback will help us to improve your learning journey and making it more dynamic and engaging and fun as well. So I'm dropping all of the link of the platform where you can connect with us, and I'm also sharing the Trust Pilot link in the chat box for your convenience, guys, where you can drop your feedback as well. And with that, it's time to come to an event. Thank you so much for all the participants for joining today and engaging into this insightful and amazing session. Thank you so much, Cyril, once again for this amazing and thoughtful and detailed, insightful session. We are very honored to have you as our speaker, and we will definitely be looking forward with you once again having on our session. Thank you so much to all of you. Till that, keep learning, keep energizing, and have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you are. And I hope to see you all in the next webinar as well into the AI implementation series.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Cyril. Have a good day.
You too.